Welcome to The Explainer. So, if you've spent any time at all in the world of tech or security, you have definitely heard the term zero trust. I mean, it is everywhere. But what does it actually mean? It kind of feels like everyone has their own definition. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and build a simple, clear blueprint that you can actually use. Okay, let's just get right to it. What are we really talking about when we say zero trust? You might think it's a pretty straightforward idea, but the truth is, it's way more complicated than it looks, and that's exactly why there's so much confusion out there. This quote just nails it. The meaning of zero trust completely changes depending on who you ask. A marketer, an engineer, a CEO, they're all looking at the same thing, but they are seeing totally different pictures. So why? Why is there so much debate packed into just two little words? Well, to figure that out, we've got to break down the different perspectives that are creating all this confusion in the first place. And here is the key takeaway, right here. How you define zero trust depends entirely on the lens you're looking through. An engineer sees the nuts and bolts, a marketer sees a shiny new product, and a CEO sees a business strategy. It's like they're all looking at the same cloud, but one sees a dragon, one sees a ship, and one sees a balance sheet. A huge reason for all this mess is that people use all the terms interchangeably. So before we go any further, let's quickly get on the same page and define the three key acronyms you're going to hear all the time. Getting this right is step one to seeing the big picture. First up is ZT, which is just zero trust itself. This is the big idea, the core philosophy. Think of it like a family deciding, okay, our new goal is to be healthier. It's the mission statement. Assume nothing is safe and verify every single request, no matter where it's coming from. Never trust, always verify. Next is ZTA, the Zero Trust Architecture. So if ZT is the goal to be healthier, ZTA is the detailed meal plan, the workout schedule, the whole shebang. It's the specific blueprint your organization creates to actually put those never trust, always verify ideas into practice. And finally, we have ZTNA. Zero Trust Network Access. Now listen up, because this is where a ton of the confusion comes from. In our little health analogy, ZTNA is like buying a new blender for your healthy kitchen. Sure, it's an important tool, but it is not the whole health strategy. It's just one piece of the bigger puzzle, and it's most famous for being the thing that replaces your old school VPN. Okay, so with that vocabulary locked in, let's dive into those different lenses we were talking about. We're going to look at four very common viewpoints. And remember, each one holds a piece of the truth, but none of them, not one, shows the whole picture. First, let's look through the practitioner's lens. We're talking about the folks in the trenches, doing the work. For them, zero trust often just means one thing, replacing the old VPN. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. They've implemented ZTNA, the tool, which is great, but they're missing the huge, critical foundation that lives underneath, like identity management and data security. And this is so important. True ZTNA completely changes how access works. It's not about opening up a giant tunnel to your whole network like a VPN does. No way. It's about giving one specific user access to one specific application. And that's it. And be careful, because a lot of vendors out there just slap a new ZTNA label on their old VPN tech. Next up, the marketer's view. And you've all seen this one, right? The pitch is always, buy our magic box and you'll have zero trust by Tuesday. But let's be real for a second. When has one single tool ever been the answer to all of cybersecurity? Never. Because a tool is just a tool. It's useless without the rules that tell it what to do. And that's where policies come in. Policies are where you define the who, the what, the when, where, why, and how of access. The tool gives you the power, but the policy is what makes it smart. Then you've got the consultant's lens, which can sometimes make zero trust look like a big shopping list of different tools you have to buy and then somehow stitch together. But just throwing more tools at the problem is not the answer. Real zero trust is a huge shift in how you think, and it demands automation, new skills, and a laser focus on protecting what really matters. And that right there brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal. An attacker doesn't want your network access. They want your data, the crown jewels. A true zero-trust architecture is all about placing your security controls as close to that data as you possibly can. Now, from the executive suite, zero trust can sometimes look like a compliance checkbox, something to report to the board to prove security is being taken care of. But anyone who's actually been through this knows it is not a checkbox. It is a multi-year journey that needs serious investment and commitment, starting from the very top. And this brings up a super critical point that every leader has to get. Security cannot get in the way of people doing their jobs. If your zero trust rules create too much friction and make work impossible, you won't just kill productivity. You'll lose the support and the funding you need to keep going. User experience is everything. Okay, so we've seen these partial truths from practitioners, marketers, consultants, and executives. Now, let's put it all together and zoom out to the strategic view. This is how seasoned security leaders see zero trust, not as a thing you can buy, but as a continuous journey. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Zero trust isn't a destination you arrive at or some certificate you hang on the wall. It's a never-ending story, a continuous journey of improvement, really, just like security itself. All right, so if it's a journey, then every good journey needs a map. How do we take this big, kind of philosophical idea and turn it into something our teams can actually get done? Thankfully, there's an amazing tool for this from CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Their model gives us a map, and it's built on 5 core pillars that any zero-trust strategy absolutely must address: identity, devices, network, applications and workloads, and, of course, data. The model then breaks this journey down into 4 maturity levels for each of those pillars, moving you from a traditional security setup all the way to optimal. This is great because it lets you do a gap analysis, see exactly where you are today, and then chart a clear course for where you need to go next. And here is the single most empowering takeaway from all of this. Your organization is already doing some of these things. I guarantee it. If you look at that traditional column in the CISA model, you'll probably find you already have a lot of those controls in place. You are not starting from scratch. So the real challenge isn't trying to figure out how to start this massive journey from a dead stop. It's about looking at the map, understanding where you are right now across all 5 of those pillars, and deciding on the one practical improvement you're going to make next. The only question is, what's your next step?